All right, so in part one, we did kind of an introduction to touch-up work with the portrait, and kind of got an overview of some of the basic tools and concepts that you use when you're doing some touch-up work. And then now in the second part here that we're going to do right here is we are going to apply a sharpening technique, and this is one of three sharpening techniques that I kind of use commonly in my bag of tricks when I'm doing post-processing work. And it's the simpler of the three, but it's also one of the most effective ones and the one I probably use the most. It works great with portraits. It works great with high resolution images that have good quality image data and whatnot. It works very well for those. So we're going to use it here because this is that type of image. And let's just go ahead and walk through it. And I came up with this about 2 or 3 years ago. I guess it's actually a little over 3 years ago now that I think about it. Um, and again, there's a ton of different tutorials out there, with regard to sharpening, and they range from very amateur, basic stuff to very advanced, black belt kind of Photoshop techniques. So this one is, like I said, it works very well, and apply it here. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and duplicate the layer, and you can do that again by hitting Control J on the PC, or the command button, I believe, on the Apple and J. Or equally, you could also just take the layer and drag it down to the new layer icon. So we've done that. And now what we want to do is we want to go up to Filter, and we want to say Filter, Other, and High Pass. And I already did this, I already walked through this before I started the screen capture. So my settings are already set based on what I did the last time I was here. So I came up with 2.5, but let's go ahead and start from scratch and talk about how I got there. So if you want to apply this technique to a photograph and you just want to pull out detail, then and not kind of go into the surreal but keep things realistic looking, then what you want to do is you basically take the radius slider and you start over at the left and you start to work your way right until you start to see what I call the sketch lines, or this is going to be the contrasting lines here that show different tonal values, and this is going to be your where the detail is actually applied. So you want to bring it out to the point where it shows the outline, the basic sketch lines of either your central objects or your actors in the scene, and you just basically want to keep it at that. So I arrived at 2.5 as being pretty good. It doesn't have any real haloing around the edges of the lines, which is what you want to avoid when you're doing this technique. Otherwise, it'll show through in the output. Now, if I were to continue to move the slider to the right, you can see what it starts to do. And if I continue to go, it starts to move into kind of a pseudo HDR look and feel, and with a lot of kind of high level